Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Haverhill Police News. It's the 10th of July 2015 and my name's Inspector Peter Ferrie and I'm the local policing commander for Haverhill. I've got 4 things to tell you today. The first one is my usual one, performance. I'd like to tell you how the police in Haverhill are doing in general. Our detection rate for Haverhill at the moment is 25.8%. That's lower than I would like it. It's still probably 10% lower than I'd like it, but it has raised up slightly. It's improved slightly from 24.6%, which was the update I gave you the last time that we did a police news update. So it's gone up by 1.2%. Not brilliant, and I won't pretend it is, but it is on the up. As I thought, it's going to improve slightly as we go through the year to get us somewhere near, hopefully, 35%, which is where I'd really like us to be in Haverhill Town. The updates I'm going to give you now all relate to Haverhill Town rather than the rural area as well. But total recorded crime has increased. We've got 666 so far this year since April the 1st, and our 3-year average is 472. So we've had a lot more crime in Haverhill than I would usually expect to see. We've had significant increases in violence against a person. We've had 172 so far this year as opposed to our 3-year average of 88, so that's very nearly doubled. Sexual offences are up to 22, our 3-year average is 10, so that has more than doubled. Domestic burglary, 25 so far this year in Haverhill Town compared to our 3-year average of 15. And as I've told you on previous times, I really judge the police in Haverhill and myself on how many domestic burglaries we've had. So we've had quite a lot more than I'd want to see, and quite a lot more than our 3-year average. Shoplifting is 78 so far this year compared to 56 on an average year. Criminal damage has also gone up. We've had 119 so far compared to 95. So there's quite a few of the most important crime categories there have gone up quite a bit. Some of the other important crime categories though have gone down. We've had decreases in robbery, and so far this year we haven't had a single recorded robbery offence in Haverhill. We would usually have expected to see 3 by now, so that's good that we haven't had any robberies. Drug offences are down to 15, and so we would usually have an average of 28, so that's nearly halved. And antisocial behaviour is down to 257 incidents so far in Haverhill Town compared to our average of 321. So the picture I'm painting is not one of everything going up, although we have had quite a few important things have gone up. There are some important things have also gone down, so it's a bit of a variable picture at the moment, but I would like to have that detection rate higher than it is at the moment. I'm now going to talk about 2 particular crimes that have happened in Haverhill that we need your help with. The first one is criminal damage at a house in Boxford Court in Haverhill. And this happened between 14:50 and 15:15, so round about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Thursday the 9th of July, so that was yesterday. So were you about in the area of Boxford Court at 3 o'clock yesterday, and can you help us? What happened was a brick was thrown through the patio door at that address while the mother of the house was out collecting her children. Horrible thing for her to come back and find, obviously very distressing for the family as well. It's not believed that any entry was gained to the house or that any entry was even attempted. So it is a bit of a strange offence to happen. A large brick, we think it was some sort of flooring or patio brick, was thrown through the window. No explanation, she hasn't fallen out with anybody and we can't really understand what happened. If you can add anything or can help the police in any way, please ring 101 and ask to speak to PC 1887 Camp, who's dealing with that offence. Second offence I'm going to tell you about is even stranger. Now this really is an odd one. We had a public order offence happen at 5:45 in the morning on Tuesday the 7th of July. So 5:45 on Tuesday the 7th of July. It was light because of the time of year, but it's still very, very early in the morning. A lady in Rain Avenue in Haverhill, was putting out her bins. A male jumped out at her, threw a tennis ball at her, swore at her quite a few times, and then jumped on top of her car, ran along the roof before running off. A member of the public approached him and he said that he'd lost his boxer dog. Now none of this makes a lot of sense. I can only guess that the chap that did this had some sort of mental health issues. But do you recognise that strange, we haven't really got a detailed description because the woman was so surprised that this person who threw a tennis ball at her, swore at her, then jumped on her car. She didn't really get much of a description. But does that chap ring any bells? Does the behaviour there ring any bells with you? Can you tell us who he is? So he threw a tennis ball at the woman, swore at her, climbed on her car and then ran off, but not before telling someone else that he'd lost his boxer dog. Does that ring any bells with you? If it does, please can you ring 101 and ask to speak to PC 1836 March. Obviously the woman's extremely upset by what's happened, and I don't blame her, because she just popped out the front of her house to put her bins out and then had this very odd man confront her and attack her. So can you help the police in any way? Please ring 101 and let us know who that person is. And then lastly from me today, you'll remember that previously we had what were called SNT priority setting meetings in Haverhill. We used to meet every 3 months, the police, members of the public and our partners, people like the councillors and other interested parties. And we used to discuss what we wanted the SNT to work towards for the next 3 months. Those meetings were finished probably about 6 months ago now. But what I can tell you is we are going to restart a different sort of meeting where the police and our partners and the public can all meet together. The first of those is going to be held on Monday the 7th of September at the Arts Centre or Town Hall. It's the same location we used to hold it in. We're going to have a different format, and we're still working through what that format is going to be. It's going to start at 7 PM, the same as it always did. And we're also hoping to film that meeting to broadcast it over the internet. What's not going to happen though, we're not going to have voting for public priorities. And we don't know what it's going to be called yet. It's not going to be called the SNT priority setting meetings. We think we're going to hold a competition to see what the public think that meeting should be called. That meeting is still being developed, but at least now we've got a date and a location and a time for the meeting to happen. But I'll give you more details as we move towards September the 7th. I'm going to give you more details about what's been decided. But it's good news for me and good news for members of the public. You're soon going to have an opportunity to meet up with the police and partners and to discuss issues that are affecting Haverhill. So that's really good news. And I'll leave you with that good news. So until next time, thanks very much. Bye bye.